sound and on the video. I think we're in a position now to start this dialogue with him. He will be talking for 10 minutes, and then he will be taking questions from you for about 15 minutes. I am standing here. I'm not going to the podium. Sorry, Majduleen, because it might be easier to see him while he's talking. One would understand what's happening, what he's saying better. So, Mr. Assange, can you hear us? Can you hear the introduction?
Yes, yes. Please speak loudly and slowly.
Well, you've heard him say, please speak loudly when you have to ask questions. You can make a comment or two, but very, very briefly. We want you to use the time to learn from him what's happening with his website, what's happening with him personally, and the other issues that are being tackled now in the international press at the government's levels and so on. So let's use our time to the maximum. Mr. Assange, why don't you tell us, you have not given a public interview for the past month. Why don't you start by telling us what you've been doing from wherever you are now over the past month? How are you seeing the coverage? What are you hearing? How are you reacting? For 10 minutes, please, and then we'll take questions from the audience, and we really appreciate you being here.
Yeah. So we have an important job to do, and part of that job is press interviews, but part of it is getting on with our day-to-day work and engaging in legal defences and technical defences. We released the Iraq war logs some 1 month ago, and that has resulted in a tremendous interest and diplomatic change, all the way from the United Kingdom holding an official inquiry with some 80 people involved to examine abuses by UK officials and soldiers in the Iraq war, to Denmark trying to get a copy of the unredacted logs for Iraq from us because the United States government wouldn't give them to Denmark, its NATO ally. But of course, during this last month, much of my energies and activities have been spent preparing for the upcoming release of our diplomatic history of the United States. Over 250,000 classified U.S. cables from U.S. embassies all around the world. And we can see already in the past week or so that the United States has made movements to try and disarm the effect that this bit of journalism will have. It has contacted the governments of almost every nation on earth to brief them ahead of time about what some of those embarrassing revelations will do, although it is in the rather difficult and unusual position where it is not sure precisely what is going to be revealed. Some of the information it knows about from consulting its own database, other it is not sure that we will reveal, and for other material it is not sure precisely what we have. So it has been treading this rather delicate line in briefing its closest allies on what it thinks we are going to reveal, and briefing everyone on the possibility of certain information being released. We just had some correspondence with the ambassador of the United States in London, but concerning an overture we made to the U.S. State Department for information concerning this pending release, what type of names they might have been concerned about in it, covert agents or other informants. And that overture has resulted in the US taking a sort of we won't negotiate with terrorists position, whereby it has completely rejected providing us with any information whatsoever that might assist us in redacting the material to be released, or assist the other 5 media partners, Le Monde, Der Spiegel, The Guardian, and the New York Times. And that is something that has happened way back since April, that the United States government has refused to engage, while stating publicly that it is concerned for the names of soldiers or other people in material, and hyping up that issue a great deal in public. In private, is refusing to assist the identification of those people, refusing to assist the press in any manner whatsoever, and has engaged in something really quite unusual, which is to insist that the world press and us be party to what it says is espionage, be party to a new interpretation of the US Espionage Act, an interpretation under which every journalist and every media organization, it says, must fall. I hope you are hearing me okay. Please nod if you are. Okay, good. That's something that's, while not completely new, is new at this scale. There has been more leaked prosecutions of media sources under the Obama administration than all previous presidents combined. So that is a highly unusual and concerning shift by the Obama administration into a regime that doesn't believe in the freedom of the press and doesn't act like it believes it. It is bothersome to me that is happening, but you know, they can have that attitude, but they are coming up against another phenomenon, which is the internet has meant that people across the world can connect together, and those individuals who believe in the power of the press and the freedom of the press and the importance of the historical record are able together to resist and expose the demands of a superpower. The Pentagon explicitly stated in August this year that we were to destroy all our previous publications of a classified nature from the Pentagon, all our upcoming publications, and we were to stop dealing with US military whistleblowers. Those interesting demands were designed to tap in to a certain interpretation of the US Espionage Act, to put the intent in our heads and other journalists' heads that if we were to publish, then we would have the knowledge that we were publishing something that the Pentagon viewed as classified, genuinely classified. That attempt is, of course, an obvious one at suppressing the whole thing, as opposed to simply considering some materials where there may be of extra special concern. Rather, they want to generate a situation where journalists are so terrified that they do not publish any material that some bureaucrat in a US government office puts a classified stamp on. That's not a situation that can be tolerated. That's not a situation that we tolerated. And in us not tolerating it, we engendered a situation where the rest of the Western press, even the New York Times, felt that it was safe to publish. Part of these coalitions we've been putting together of major press organizations has the effect of being able to stand united against very significant pressure from the United States government.